I mean, we played a great first quarter, probably our best quarter of the year. Shot well, executed on offense very well. And then I thought maybe we got a little bit sloppy. First it started with blockouts. And then, they got some easy second chance points to stay in the game. And then in the second half, I didn't think we played with the same defensive intensity, and they took advantage of it. We lost 12 a couple times in transition, and she's a great shooter. I thought that got them started, and then, they started getting the ball inside, and, I thought just we needed a little bit more fight in us in terms of saying, hey, we need to stop now. We need a defensive play now. Everybody's rebounding. That's the stuff that I'm hoping that our team starts to do on the floor. But overall, really happy with the team to, be on the road and then come back and less than 48 hours later play a good Harvard team and come out so strong. There's definitely over the last couple games been periods of really good basketball. Now if we can, extend that where we're, instead of 25 minutes of good basketball, we can get it to 30 to 35, and then, hopefully, the second half of the year, we're consistent enough to just play FGCU basketball throughout an entire game.
Given what you talked about, the quick return and such a strong start to the game going up 25, that maybe the players at all thought that this one was over?
I think there's a natural tendency when you get a big lead to feel like you can trade baskets. Now, the problem is all of a sudden you start missing. That's not trading baskets, and I feel like we didn't have the same. I give Harvard credit; they executed really well. They had a good game plan, and in the second half they got the ball where they wanted to get the ball. But I felt like from defensive conversion to letting the ball move too easy and letting the post catch it where they wanted, I thought those things weren't done as well at the defensive end, and they're a long way from the bench, so that's when we need our leaders like DT, and DT had a good defensive game. She had a good game period. Atwater to get us going, and then Jamie did a good job on the boards for us again, and she was somebody that did her job defensively. She was somebody that really helped us get into some fast break situations through her defense and rebounding.
DT took two-pointers. Is she in big trouble?
No, not at all, because that was the best shot we could get late in the clock. So she knows she had to make something happen, and she actually made. I thought both of them were very good decisions.
DT, can you talk about the response the team has had since the Arkansas State game that you guys lost? What the conversation was with the team, and how you guys have responded at George Washington, and for 3 quarters anyway tonight.
When we lost to Arkansas State, we really looked at ourselves and seen what we had to do better, and then we came together because we didn't want to come back home 3 and 4 when we went to George Washington, so that really helped us. And so basically we just came together and decided we're going to play better.
What do you take away from this win, DyTiesha? I mean, is it a good win because you won, or do you look at where you guys had a bad quarter and a half, 2 quarters?
Well, we look at both sides. I mean, the first quarter was awesome. Like, I've never seen us this year play that good. So we know we can play that way. Hopefully we can play the entire game. But then we look at the bad and the negatives and we see what we got to do better at practice.
Jamie, can you talk about the same thing? You're getting a lot of minutes, and it's doing a lot of the fundamental stuff Coach is always talking about. Can you talk about the team's response to the same question I asked DT about the Arkansas State loss and getting that stuff done?
Yeah, I think our mindset is kind of just taking it one game at a time, not dwelling on the past, and knowing that each game is a new opportunity. So we just know what we have to do. We try to follow the game plan each time, and each time we go out there, it's a new opportunity for us to do things right. And go out there and show that we fixed the mistakes that we made the last game and try to just keep getting better.
Do you feel like you're getting closer? I mean, you've had some ups and downs this season, but after George Washington and this one, do you feel like you're getting back to where you guys need to be?
I think so, because those are two good teams that we were able to defeat, and so it's a good feeling, especially after George Washington, because it was such an intense game. You know, we were pumped after. So I think that's really what kind of carried over into the first half of this game and the first quarter and stuff. Why we played so well is because we still had, you know, that feeling from our win. We felt like we could accomplish a lot together.
When they start to make a run at you guys, how hard is it the players just to kind of keep your composure and stay with the game plan rather than trying to press and do a little bit too much? How hard is it to kind of balance that?
I mean, it's difficult, but because we feed off each other so much. You know, our energy out there is so contagious with one another that, you know, if one person, their head gets down, then it kind of affects us. So, but what we do a good job of, I think, is helping each other up and saying, you know what, that's okay. Like, let's get a stop. That's going to start, like, our offense. So I think we do a good job with each other getting out of those funks sometimes.
DT, can you talk about the offense being sharper? At least, I guess, the last two games, Coach, they talked about at Arkansas State. There was poor screening and cutting. What you guys have done, and you know, you're seeing the results, I guess, to some degree. And I don't know if you guys are working also independently more on the three-pointers also. The percentage is up the last two games.
Well, I think we're taking our shooting more seriously now since Arkansas State, and we've seen that at George Washington and today. And as far as our offense screening and cutting, we've been working more on it at practice, and we're just trying to get the details. The little things are the reason why we score, and so we're trying to focus on that more.
The little things. It's
Yeah.
easy to overlook that sometimes when you guys do so
It
well
is.
all the time.
It is. It's easy to try to get space and drive, but if you don't do the little things like set a hard screen, then that person might not have space. That person's defense might help. So.
Jamie, can you talk about a little bit of any sense of reward for you getting all these minutes? You know, means you're doing a lot of the things right that Coach is always preaching.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really happy with the playing time I'm getting, and I know I don't bring a lot to the offensive end, but I think that I play my role in the part on the defensive end, and I pride myself on what I can do there. And I'm just trying to, you know, crash the boards so that we can get into our conversion and stuff and just do the things, try to get people open and just work with my teammates.
It's been a little bit of a long journey for all of you guys, obviously 4 years, but you know, all freshman performer in the conference, and then minutes kind of slipped the last two seasons, but picking it back up.
Yeah, it's a good feeling. I feel like I belong out there, so I'm glad that I'm getting a chance and that I can contribute to the team.
Coach, were you going to call a timeout? Looked like she had to beg for the timeout when she lost her shoe. Was it
Yeah,
punishment?
you know, they really aren't supposed to give you a timeout. Sometimes the officials, just for safety reasons, will call timeout and let you get your shoe.
Yeah.
They actually, you know, they follow the protocol. They're not supposed to give a timeout for a shoe, and so we had to.
Are you going to
use
reduce
it.
her playing time since you can't?
What?
Are you going to reduce her playing time since you can't keep a shoe on?
No, one of those things that unfortunately happens if somebody steps on the back, and
I was lightening them.
yeah, I know.
DyTiesha, they had a pretty good run in the third quarter. I think it was like 21-2. What'd you guys do to settle down? And again, in the fourth, I think they got within 5 points. So what'd you guys do to settle down and kind of turn it around?
We really just talked to each other and told each other to keep our composure. You know, we're gonna score. We just gotta take it one play at a time. We need to get some stops, and it'll go well, right?
How good did that pull-up jumper you hit? So, I mean, you got a little fist pump. I mean, well, how good did you feel after that?
But it felt good when I released it, so I knew it was going in. I did.
You guys both, can you just talk about, you still have very high expectations for this season? Whoever wants to address that. Go ahead, DJ.
Yeah, we still have high expectations for the season. You know, it's going to come back soon. So I think playing without her has made us a better team. So when she comes back, we'll be an even more better team. And we're just ready to play. We're just ready to have her back, too.
Yeah, and adding on to that, I mean, since we've been here, our starts haven't always been awesome. We've lost games in the beginning of the season, but we're still successful down the road. So we're not really dwelling on, you know, the mistakes that we've made in the past. We're just trying to get better each time, and we know that in the past we've progressed as a team, so we don't think that this year should be any different. So we think we can still be really successful.
What do you attribute your quick start to? Did you just get a lot of confidence after the GW game?
I have no idea.
I mean, I think so. Like I said, I mean, I think we've just felt really good after that. So we were ready to come out and play tonight, and we thought that our game plan was good and that we could really compete with this team. So we just started with a lot of energy.
Coach, 2 games in a row you've won, despite being out-rebounded pretty bad. It wasn't as bad as GW tonight. That's always a concern with you, but is it more of a concern, or do you think they're doing okay on the boards?
It's a huge concern now. I feel like that's going to be something that we're going to be talking about a lot over the next few days is, you know, I tell them we're not going to win jump balls around the rim, especially without width. So we got to get into people early and block people out. And, you know, the team's been pretty good at making some changes this year and slowly improving. That's one area that we've been a little slow to catch on to the importance. Hopefully this game especially awakens them to the importance of putting a body on somebody and chasing down a ball.
As far as width, do you still feel like, I know it's a week away, that a return for Providence would probably still be quicker than, you know, an abundance of caution?
Well, see, I think, you know, she's starting to work out now. She's not really in practice, but she's starting to work out and build up some conditioning. You know, Providence isn't out of the question, but, you know, even though she'll maybe be playing soon, it's going to be very limited minutes. So, you know, if it's only like 10 minutes and then, you know, 15 after that. So we're not going to rush her back out there. As much as you'd like to play Whitney 30 minutes, we're not going to rush her back out there. We're going to slowly build her up, and hopefully, you know, by January, she's ready to, you know, play unlimited minutes.
So DT and Haas might still be guarding bigs?
Well, Haas isn't supposed to be guarding bigs, and that's something I'll be talking to Jamie about. But DT could be.